Hello and welcome to the daily English news program in Azerbaycan Television with the most important events of the day. I'm your host, Rövşən Məmmədov. President İlham congratulated the people of Azerbaijan and all our compatriots living abroad on the occasion of sacred Eid al-Adha, which is a symbol of unity, equality and brotherhood of the Islamic world, and extended his most sincere wishes. The head of our state noted that Eid al-Adha is marked by the sending of the Islamic religion to mankind as a way of spiritual and moral salvation, and it embodies the love of Allah and the willingness of Muslims to make any kind of sacrifice for the sake of truth and justice. The message of congratulations, accentuating that the people of Azerbaijan were distinguished for centuries with their bond to their historical roots and traditions and preserved their national and cultural values in the most difficult times, goes on to say. The religious holidays, including the Eid al-Adha ceremonies, demonstrating our moral solidarity with the Muslim world, are solemnly celebrated in our country every year. Sacrifices are made in the name of Allah, and prayers are offered for the progress of our state and welfare of our people. And once again commemorates the immortal memory of our heroic martyrs who sacrificed their lives for the independence of Azerbaijan and the liberation of our ancient lands from occupation. I pray for mercy on them from the Almighty and wish patience to their loved ones. The head of state expressed hope that prayers and intentions will be accepted and this blessed holiday will become a celebration of kindness, compassion and mercy typical of our people and will further strengthen the spirit of national and spiritual solidarity in our society. May the holy Eid al-Adha bring prosperity to your families and blessings to your tables, states the message. Ilham, President of the Republic of Azerbaijan, July 7, 2022. Armenian vandalism against Azerbaijan's cultural heritage continues today. The destruction of the Tepebaşı Mosque in Yerevan is another proof of this. The silence of international organizations against the backdrop of what is happening further encourages the other side.
Each of the mosques built in the territory of Yerevan Khanate, including the city of Yerevan, was an example of national architecture. Unfortunately, over the years, these valuable monuments of Azerbaijani people have been destroyed and distorted. Although there are enough facts, documents and records that prove these monuments belong to Azerbaijanis, no one cares about this. The Blue Mosque, built in the middle of the 18th century under the instruction of Sayyid Ali Khan, has been made Persian in recent years under the pretext of repair and restoration. This time, the target is an ancient place of worship, Tepebaşı Mosque.
Destroyed monuments are also a heavy blow to our religion. The destruction of mosques, pilgrimage sites and other places of worship indicate that Armenians and Armenia are not adapted to the modern world. On the one hand, Tepebaşı shows the ancient history of Azerbaijan, and on the other hand, it is an example of Armenian brutality and vandalism.
Tepebaşı Mosque was a place of worship for Azerbaijanis. It is in danger of being destroyed by neglect. The Armenian government point to the lack of funding as a reason for the monument state. However, this argument is not valid. These vandal states of Armenia are a sign of barbarity not only from a religious point of view, but also from an architectural point of view.
There are special decisions made by UNESCO which directly control the world cultural heritage. If a crime is committed against the historical national cultural heritage of a nation and ethnic group, if it is destroyed, this is considered the most serious crime of genocide in terms of international law.
The most interesting point is that for some reason, these acts committed by Armenians against the religious monuments belonging to Azerbaijanis remained out of the attention of international organizations.
Armenians carried out vandalism and brutality on toponyms, architectural monuments and all monuments reflecting the historical heritage of Azerbaijan. Unfortunately, international organizations ignore this vandalism policy of Armenia, and they do not pay attention to the appeals of Azerbaijan and do not give them a political assessment.
Unfortunately, UNESCO, which shows that it cares for the so-called Armenian heritage in the territories liberated from the occupation by Azerbaijan, is not acting in the same manner when it comes to our historical heritage in Western Azerbaijan.
Even after the war and the restoration of historical justice, we face the continuation of the double standards of international organizations. In particular, I would like to highlight the UNESCO here. Some statements of UNESCO and other international organizations against Azerbaijan once again revealed their double standards in this matter.
In short, the picture does not change. As usual, Armenia pursuing a policy of terrorism and observer international organizations. Azerbaijan is resolute to restore justice by dictating all the norms and principles.
At the final plenary meeting of the annual session of the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly, the Azerbaijani delegation called on Armenia to draw conclusions from the organization's decisions. It was noted that by speaking at the previous meetings against the biased and unfounded amendments put forward by the Armenian delegation, the Parliamentary Assembly supported the normalization of relations between Azerbaijan and Armenia, lasting peace in the South Caucasus, strengthening of confidence and resolution of all issues through direct dialogue between the sides. It was emphasized that if Armenia is indeed interested in normalization of relations and Brussels peace negotiations, then it should draw correct conclusions from the decision adopted by the OSCE Parliamentary Assembly and contribute to peace. By taking practical steps, Azerbaijan offered Armenia to work on the peace agreement at the very highest level after the war. Our country showed maximum constructivism to eliminate the consequences of the war and to restore the communications. Minister of Foreign Affairs Ceyhun Bayramov voiced this view since the opening of Diplomacy Week at ADA University. He noted that there is no other choice than good neighborly relations to the sustainable peace, tranquility and development in the region.
Azerbaijan showed maximum constructivism in the elimination of the consequences of the war and opening of communications following the signing of the trilateral statement. On numerous occasions, the importance of urgent delimitation of borders between Azerbaijan and Armenia was underlined. Delimitation and demarcation of borders, as well as the signing of the final peace agreement between the two states, are the necessary conditions for the development of sustainable peace and cooperation in the region.
In the current geopolitical reality, Armenia must recognize Azerbaijani borders. On the other hand, steps need to be taken to open transportation and communication lines in terms of determination of economic priorities in the region. The Armenian side is delaying this issue.
According to Ceyhun Bayramov, over the last 1 year, no steps were taken by the opposite side. As a next step taken by Azerbaijan, the 5 basic principles submitted by Azerbaijan to Armenia are based on international law. As a rule, this principle constitutes the basis of relations between the neighbor countries.
I wouldn't say that any important work was done. We only heard messages, views, discussions with Azerbaijan. We heard these views from Armenia. The views are ambiguous. There are people and groups in the Armenian society making revanchist statements.
During the opening of the Diplomacy Week dedicated to the peace and reconstruction efforts of Azerbaijan and the post-conflict phase, the speakers talk about new realities emerging in the region. The goal of the Diplomacy Week, jointly organized by the Minister of Foreign Affairs and ADA University, is the development of new programs with youth and volunteers, exchange of views on burning issues, and study of Azerbaijani positions on the processes unfolding in the world. It is envisaged that youth and volunteers will make a trip to Shusha.
A new reception center was established at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs in order to fulfill the obligations imposed on the state bodies regarding the improvement of the efficiency of the services provided to the citizens. Prompt provision of services is the main criterion, and the central technical security measures were implemented. Necessary conditions were created for comfortable movement of persons with physical disabilities and prompt consideration of applications. That was all for the day. Thank you for being with us and see you next time.